Welcome back to 5 differences with the iPhone X and the other iPhones. You know, those rubbish iPhones that they released last year. So I just want to say, guys, that normally I review sneakers and clothes and everything that's not technology, basically. So bear with me. I apologize for mistakes, errors, and just general ignorance. Let's get started with the first difference between the old iPhones and the new iPhone. The number one thing that I want to show you to get started is unlocking your iPhone. Something that we all have to do if we want to use them. For the old iPhones, using Touch ID, it's simply just hovering your thumb or pressing your thumb against the unlock button and then it unlocks. On the new phones, it's a bit different. So this isn't my one, so it's not registered with my face. Now you can see that it's got the little lock sign there. I can go directly into the camera. I can directly go into my flashlight. And I can also bring up the control center as well. But the iPhone still isn't unlocked. So I'm bringing it to my face. Nothing. Try again. Nothing. All right, so that's not working. Now let's go over to the other iPhone that I have here. Voila, done. So now it's unlocked. And if I want to go to my home screen, I simply swipe from the bottom. And then you can just see loads of sneakers. And there we go. The iPhone's unlocked. Let's do that one more time. So I'm going to tap to put it back from rest. Hey guys, I just want to quickly mention here that you'll notice a slight flicker on the top of the iPhone X, like a white flicker or a red flicker. This is the Face ID trying to recognize or constantly find somebody's face. In this case, it's my face. So just ignore that, and it's just a piece of information for you guys. The human eye can't recognize this, but our cameras and everything else can. So don't be freaked out. It's not a defect. This is a feature of the iPhone. It's looking at my face already. It's unlocked. And there we go. So one final time. I'm going to wake it by tapping it. I'm going to bring it to my face. And now it's unlocked. And I can just swipe up. And there we go. We're on the home screen. Tip number 2 on the difference between the iPhone 6 and the iPhone X. Let's talk about gestures. So they've changed gestures a lot on the new iPhone X. It took me a little while to actually figure out how to even bring up some of the common features that I'm used to. So first of all, the control center, it's no longer bottom up. It's now top right hand corner down. So here, there we go. That's the control center. Your notifications or the notification center is now swipe from the middle or to the left side of the screen down. And that brings up those notifications. So let's do that one more time for the control center. Very smooth, very easy. There we go. Very responsive. And the notification center, as I mentioned, anywhere from the middle onwards to the left hand side, you can bring that and down. Alright, so how do we go back to home once we've gone into an app? So here's Chrome. How do I get back home? We simply swipe from the bottom up. Let's open settings, go back to the home screen, bottom up. So we don't have a button anymore like the original iPhone. Go into an app, press once the button, and then you go into the home screen. So let's check out the differences. And we want to go to the home screen, button and press. Simple. Okay, let's talk about switching between apps. So in the old phone, you double press on the home button and then you get your app switcher. Excellent album, guys. You get your home switcher. On the new phone, you basically swipe up from any direction and hold it. And then you'll feel like a little vibration and then you're able to basically do your multitasking. So let's do that one more time. We are going to just swipe up, we're going to wait, and then we're going to scroll. Maybe that wait was a little bit long. You don't have to wait as long as I just did. There we go. Very easy, very quick. But how do we switch between apps now? So on the old iPhone, if we bring up this, there's no interactions on the sides of the screens. It's basically, you bring up the app and then you just switch. So double press on the home screen and then switch. On the new phone, it's a case of swiping. Okay, and the final gesture that I want to show you guys here is something that I find extremely useful on my 6S because it's massive and it's so unnatural to have a device this big in your hand that you use regularly, is the ability, and I just want to say, guys, that my hands are quite big, right? I'm not a small guy and I still struggle
to use these Plus phones. So I, all the time, especially in the mornings, kind of lightly press on the home button, and that brings the apps halfway down. How do we do that on the new iPhone X? Well, it's pretty straightforward once you realize where it is in the options. So you have to enable it in the options first of all, and it's on the general accessibility, and then it's reachability there. And just make sure you guys have that enabled. So to bring the icons halfway down, all you have to do is simply flick down and then just flick back up when you want them. So that's flick down and then flick back up, and you really want to flick down below the dots, and you kind of have to use a little bit of force. It's not just a case of willy-nilly just flicking down. You really kind of have to use a bit of force down there. So actually that's a bit of a tricky interaction, and it's taken me some time to get used to. In fact, we've done about 50 takes in this video. You simply flick down. Okay, so you simply flick down. Alright, so you flick down. Okay, so in order to bring the icons halfway down, you simply just flick down. Okay, alright, so in order to bring the icons halfway down, you simply just flick down. Okay, so to bring the icons halfway down on the new iPhone X, you simply just flick down.
Okay, tip number 3 on the differences between the old iPhone and the new iPhone X.
You'll notice on my old iPhone, the 6 Plus, I have the percentage of the battery. On the new iPhone, it's no longer a percentage there, it's just the graphic. But if you want to bring the percentage, then you will just bring down your control center, and then you will see the percentage right there. That kind of sucks a little bit, actually. I was a bit disappointed when I found that out. Tip number 4 of the differences between the iPhone 6 and the iPhone X. Let's talk about the camera. On the iPhone 6s we have time-lapse, slow-mo, video, photo, square and panel. And on the new iPhone we have time-lapse, slow-mo, video, photo, portrait, and we'll look at that in a minute, square and panel. And you also notice that it says 1x there. On the old iPhone it doesn't say that. Why doesn't it say that? Well, the main reason is that it's actually the technology and the camera itself. So this has both optical and digital zoom, whereas the 6 Plus just has digital zoom. What does that mean? That just means that we have a dual camera system in the lens here, so you can see that. And it also means that they actually have proper optics inside of the camera itself, and not just relying on the digital zoom. So we can zoom into my colleague Bubba there. Where is he? You can just hide him behind there. Just about. Look at that. We're getting right into his face now. My God, we can see his. Just sneaking behind there. Thanks, Bubba. So you can really see the focuses on my face there, and the things around are very much quite blurry. That's really nice compared to the old iPhone that doesn't do that. So now I'm just going to take a picture of myself. And now I'm going to go into the editing. So here we go, that's that nice picture. And now we've got these bunch of new options at the bottom here. And we can really easily just dynamically change the lighting without messing around with any sliders or anything else. It's very, very subtle. And then finally there's this blackout mode, which is nice. Not as good as the advertisement really showed, or I haven't managed to find the perfect lighting just yet, but still early days. I need to play around with it a bit more. And plus I think this feature is very much still in the early beta release of it. That was tip number 4. So let's have a quick size comparison, just to show you that this feature is not as needed anymore, really. So on the Edge, the Samsung Edge, we've kind of, you can see, there we go, just line them all up there. We can see the 6s Plus, the Samsung Edge, and the new iPhone X.
Tip number 5 for the differences between the iPhone 6 or the older iPhone and the new iPhone X.
So now I want to talk to you guys about the buttons and some of the differences between how things work there. The first thing I want to talk about is a feature that I use more or less every day, and that's taking screenshots. especially for those of you who like to use a lot of like the Instagrams and all that stuff. When those pictures disappear, I don't know why that happens. Why? Anyway, so to take a screenshot on the old iPhone, it's simply press and hold the standby button and the home button at the same time, and then we get a little snapshot. And now they have that preview on the new iOS, which is like 50-50. On the new iPhone, to take a screenshot, it's a little bit different. We don't have the home button anymore, so now you basically press and hold the volume up and the standby button, and it does exactly the same thing. You saw that. Let's test the volume down. I haven't tested that. Okay, volume down doesn't do that, so it is the volume up and the standby button. Alright, so how do we turn off our iPhone? Well, we simply press and hold the volume down and the standby button, and now we have our emergency options, our power option, and if you guys want the additional option for your medical card, then you can enable that in the options as well. This is just missing from my screen. I think we have that example over here. So I'm going to press and hold the volume down and the standby button to bring the power option. There we go. You can see that this phone has 3 options with the medical card as well. The final thing I wanted to show you guys on the buttons is how to activate Siri. So on the old iPhone, we simply press and hold on the home button and then Siri pops up. We can obviously also say, "Hey Siri," if we've got that activated. As we can see on the iPhone X, that just worked straight away. But what happens if we don't want to use our voice and we just want to bring Siri up? We don't have a home button. So we simply press and hold the standby button on the side, and then Siri's activated. Voila, just like that. I just want to give you guys one piece of advice. So I can't actually activate Hey Siri on my phone because the battery is too low. So just a piece of advice, if you guys actually want to activate Hey Siri, then basically you do it via the options. It's not set up by default, and you can see here, Hey Siri is not available while battery is on low power mode. So just FYI. Okay, so there we go. That's 5 tips on how to use the iPhone X versus the old school iPhone 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth. I hope you guys have found this useful. As always, give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Of course, hit the subscribe button, which is somewhere. This is the first technology video that we've done. Hope you guys like it. Stay tuned for the next one.